Hey everybody, welcome to an update video. Know I don't usually do these kind of things, but I feel it's about time I did an update video of some kind because there are some things I need to explain. As you all know, Banjo-Kazooie started yesterday, and as you all know, that's an LP that I've already done on my channel. It's part of a Let's Replay series. Essentially, I'm going to be redoing all of my camera LPs that will they'll be now in like capture card quality and decent audio and whatnot and all that good stuff. I don't know how often I'll be doing the replays. Banjo-Kazooie will be uploaded Mondays and Fridays, and considering I have almost all of the game recorded already at this point, I don't want it to be covering up too much of the weekday because as you all know, I upload two videos a weekday, and it's kind of messy in the sense that I don't really follow a tight schedule in the sense that I keep being consistent with my uploads. There have been times where I have been consistent for a good while, and then you don't see videos for like a week from me. I'm trying my best to stop doing that because I've recorded a really good amount of videos lately. The next LP that's going to be beside Banjo-Kazooie, which is, I might as well say it here, Sonic Unleashed for the PS3, the HD version. That's going to be beside Banjo. Those videos will be up on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, because that's going to be the longer LP. So I feel that's going to have to be the one that has more upload times, I guess. Because I'm recording Banjo two worlds a session, and I've already done 3 sessions, and there's only 9 worlds in the game, so do the math. I can see Banjo being finished in like, let's see here. I can see it being finished in about 2 weeks. So yeah, that's not gonna be very long. So hope you guys are enjoying the Banjo playthrough because it is really fun going back to that game. It's one of my childhood gems, and it's one of my favourite platformers, so it's a joy to go back to it, But I'm not here for that. I'm not here to gush about Banjo in this update. I've been thinking about something. As you all know at this point, I do online matches and the Ramble Express podcast, and how that's handled is that I usually record. Well, I record both of those usually during Saturday, Sunday if something goes wrong or if I have something going on and I just can't do it for Saturday, or even Friday. Any time in the weekend really. And those are typically the longest types of videos you'll find on my channel because, well, my standard video length is around 25 minutes or so, and those videos can range from 30 minutes to 2 hours, or even 3 hours at one stage, depending on how much I decide to play for, or how long we ramble on the podcast, which usually is a couple of hours. I've been thinking though, would you guys like to see another type of series for the weekend? I know I'm not very consistent when it comes to online matches, and if sort of the podcast, that's a different thing though, because when it comes to the podcast, people need to be able to join for it. If it was just me, it would be 20 minutes long, and that's not what a podcast is supposed to be about, It's well, it's meant to be about people talking, and I'm going to be doing that if it was me alone, but there'll be no one to discuss topics with, and it'll just be kind of dry because you'll only be seeing my point of view about things, and it won't really get anywhere. So yeah, that's seeing as how it's with like 3 people. The minimum is usually 3, but we usually have like 4 at this point. It really depends on how many topics we have at the time, and if people can actually join, because the people that we usually have are at this point Chase and, well, it's usually just Chase, to be honest. Like Christian or Hapakari and Vicious Phantom, if you want to go by their usernames. They're usually the main stayers at this point, or the main guests. We do have occasional other people joining, like we had Jack or Rainbow Gamer Dash from the Brony Gamers appear at episode 2 and 3, and maybe a couple of others I can't recall at this point. And we also had Xavier, aka Super Nintendo Game Boy, for a few episodes. It can be kind of hard sometimes for me and Joey, because we are the main hosts after all, to find time for the guests to be able to join. Like we're usually able to do it fine, but there are occasional times where something gets in the way. Some of them can't join and things like that. So if there are delays for the podcast, which, let's be fair, there has been, and there's one going on right now. I mean, the last one we recorded was like 3 weeks ago, I believe. So yeah, the podcast has been on a kind of a hiatus. It should be coming back this week, fingers crossed. So be on the lookout for that. And also, I'm trying really hard not to make the online matches have a delay again, because as you all know, that series of videos has been really on and off, because there have been times where I stay consistent with it, other times when I just don't do it, and well, there are some instances where I can't stop that happening because, again, things get in the way and I can't get around to doing everything on time. So there's that. But I'm trying my best to record things in advance, because I have around, I want to say 6 hours recorded for Unleashed, and yeah, we already have a lot of footage ready. So I say we as in this is like a group channel, but you get the point. We have a lot of footage for the LPs I'm gonna do, and I'm just trying to do my best to keep the side series updated frequently from now on, because what I don't want to see on my channel anymore is to have a delay out of nowhere, where I stay consistent for 2 weeks, and then the next week and a half there's nothing from me. I'm trying my best to stop doing that from now on, and rest assured, it's not exactly the easiest thing, considering there's college that I have to get to as well. Like, college takes up quite a bit of my time, and that's something I'm trying to use up a good amount of my time for. Not all of it, considering YouTube, and that's also important to me personally. So I'm trying to balance those two things out. Plus, I'm trying to find a job as well. A weekend job more, to put it, a weekend job to be specific. But anyways, there are those 3 things, like YouTube, college, and trying to find a job. All 3 of those combined take up quite a lot of my time. So, considering the podcast and the online matches series both end up being a couple of hours long each, well, not so much the online matches series, but you get the point. But what I was getting at is that, would you guys like to see a weekend series where I go for a different kind of game? Well, not so much a different kind of game, but a game I can go through in around 2 or 3 hours, or something very small compared to the games I usually do, because I've been thinking about that, and I think it will be the best way to do games like Sonic, the classic Sonic games, the 2D Mario's, Rise Star, the Vectorman games, and just small playthroughs like that. I think it will be a nice little change of pace. It will help content go out more frequently. And before I start this, before I start the series, I'm gonna make sure I have a decent amount of LPs done for the weekend show, whatever the heck it's gonna be called. Well, they're still gonna be called LPs, just smaller and on the weekends. It's gonna be probably on one video per weekend day, if that's even a saying or whatever. Yes, but anyways, there'll be one episode for Saturday, one episode for Sunday. So, and again, I'll try to get as many episodes for that series done as I can, but I want to know what you guys think about it. Do you think I should do a mini series where I do smaller LPs on the weekends? It won't get in the way of main LPs or the Ramble Express or online matches. They're gonna be their own thing, but they're not gonna get in the way of the other stuff. So you don't have to worry about that. And it's gonna be a lot easier to do them because, again, they're gonna be really short, so I don't have to worry too much about editing and all that junk. And I think it will be a good way to get content out more frequently and to get just more content on my channel in general, because you're already getting a hefty amount of content recently, and I think doing this would boost it a little bit more, not too much. Like, I don't want to overwhelm you guys with constant updates and constant uploads, because that's one thing I don't want to do anymore. Because if you followed my channel from 2011 or so, and if you have, then thanks. I don't really know what to say about that, but thanks for sticking around for so long. But if you've known me for that long, you'll know that I've randomly uploaded videos and put like 4, even 5 videos up a day sometimes. I don't want to do that anymore, because the last thing I want is to clog people's subscription boxes up. And that can get really annoying, especially when you have so many people you follow, and you can't get to every video, and it just becomes annoying. So, yeah, what I do is that I have, for the weekdays, I have a video up for the morning, and then another video for the evening, so it doesn't feel like you're getting too much, but you're not getting too little either. It's like, I think it's a good balance. Like, you wake up, you get to see a video from me, and then you're relaxing and you get to see another video from me. The Ramble Express and the online matches, those videos can depend on how fast I can get to editing it, because editing the actual videos for those, I don't have to do too much to them. I just to make sure the audio's all synced up and everything's fine and whatnot. The problem is, rendering those videos takes around 2 to 3 hours or so. It takes a while, so the time of when those videos goes up depends on how fast I can get to rendering it and all that. They usually come up on Sunday or even late Saturday, or sometimes even Monday. It really depends on how lazy I am. But yeah. What One thing I will say though is that seeing as how we're kind of struggling trying to find consistent topics, or well, not consistent, but topics in general for the podcast, I'm gonna ask you guys for something. What would you like for us to talk about? Because there hasn't been a lot going on in the gaming world, or really in general. Like, of course, there's going to be stuff on the news, but why would you listen to the podcast for real life news? There's nothing deep I can say about that kind of stuff. It just doesn't interest me, and it really just makes me depressed hearing about the real life news. But either way, I want you guys to give us any ideas for what you want us to talk about. Like, if you want us to talk about a certain game franchise, a certain thing that's going on, or a dilemma with a certain company, or what we think about a character, just anything you guys want us to cover, let me know, because, well, we need all the topics we can get at this point, and we're really running slim. I'm sure we'll be able to get some more topics out when new games start releasing, but as of now, we don't have a lot of stuff to work off with. We don't have a lot of stuff to work with, so any type of topic, anything you guys want us to talk about, please let any of us know, because we'll appreciate it a lot. And also, if you have any questions that you want us to answer, please let us know as well, because I want this. The whole point of the podcast in the first place was for me and some other guys, Joey and all those people, for us to talk about things we usually won't talk about. Well, we would talk about, but you won't usually see us talking about them on our channels, because we're usually doing LPs and stuff, and the commentary usually gets centered around that stuff. I sometimes go off topic in online matches and whatnot, because it's just the online matches series is just a chilled out conversation with you guys, really. But I would. The thing with the podcast though is that it's meant. I want to try and reach out to you guys, like talk. I want it to feel like I'm actually communicating with you guys more, asking you, asking us questions and us answering them back with hopefully detailed answers, depending on what the question is, and yeah, it will just be fun to do that. There are no real limits to how many questions you can ask, but I feel it will be a decent way to do the podcast from now on, because, well, a lot of podcasts do it now. Like, they have a Q&A at the end, and they answer some fan questions. Considering my fan base and how small it is, I don't really expect a lot of questions, but hey, any amount is greatly appreciated. Any sort of questions, even really weird ones, because those still are pretty fun to do. But yeah. There's not a lot else I can say. Like, I covered the podcast, how that's handling, the online matches, my schedule. Hopefully it'll stay consistent from now on. I have a bunch of stuff not uploaded, but I have a lot of stuff ready. And there's a lot more content on the way, like with the whole mini LP series that's going to be on the weekends now, and just all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to be more consistent with my channel than I ever have been before, because the last thing I want is is to have another delay of 6 months or something, because if you've been following me for a while, you've known that I've had some delays that I stay off for like 5 months or so. That's because my flip camera battery died out like twice, and I couldn't record for a while because of that. But seeing as how, I have a capture card now, I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. It's usually delays only happen if, like, I'm sick and I don't have anything else to upload, or something's going wrong with the computer, so usually that doesn't happen. So you're gonna see hopefully you're gonna see a consistent channel from now on. I don't have too much else to say. Oh, one other thing I should say. I do have Punch-Out Wii ready for editing. That review is again in the editing process, and it shouldn't take too long to edit all the stuff. I'm gonna estimate it's gonna take around 2 weeks. But well, I said the Luigi's Mansion one was gonna take a couple of days, but then yeah, it took a lot longer than that. But Punch-Out Wii is a really simple game to do, so hopefully it won't take too long to edit. I have all the script done. I need to record the audio, which shouldn't take too long to do. But that should go up in a couple of weeks, hopefully. With that said though, I've been Super Mario Sonic Lover. Thank you guys for sticking around and listening to me ramble for a good 20 minutes or so. And, well, I'll see you guys next time for the next video. Or whatever comes up next. I don't even know anymore. Next up is probably going to be a podcast episode, but we'll see. Anyways though, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.